Michael Jordan watches a reporter humiliate a young player. Before we get into the story, comment below where in the world you are watching from today, and if you like this story, don't forget to subscribe. It was a typical day in the NBA world, teams gearing up for the playoffs, media interviews buzzing, and the next batch of stories about the league's star players taking over every sports column. But amidst all the excitement surrounding established superstars, there was a young player who had just made his debut in the league. His name wasn't yet a household one, and he hadn't yet proven himself on the big stage. But he was a rookie, filled with promise, talent, and ambition, expecting a career that could one day match the best. Coming into the league was everything he'd dreamed of. He'd worked his entire life to get to this point, countless hours spent in the gym, high school, and college seasons where his name had begun to shine in scouts' notebooks. But once the draft had come and gone, and the spotlight shifted onto him as an NBA rookie, reality began to sink in. There was no easy road here. The games were faster, the pressure higher, and every mistake was amplified in the public eye. The media's intense scrutiny was unlike anything he'd ever faced. The rookie had grown up in a small town, with a tight-knit circle of friends who supported him through thick and thin. He had never imagined a world where his every word and action would be dissected by hundreds of reporters, fans, and analysts. The press conferences were daunting, and the rookie could feel his confidence eroding with each passing day. There was the constant worry that he would fail to live up to expectations. That was a weight heavier than any defender he faced on the court. It wasn't just the pressure from the media that began to overwhelm him. The practice drills and workouts had their own grind. Coaches were relentless in their demands, pushing him to the brink as they worked to mold him into an NBA player. He would be expected to perform, day after day, without the luxury of time to ease into the league. The feeling of being a fish out of water was hard to shake. And then there were the teammates, the veterans who had already tasted the heights of success, whose names were etched in NBA history. They were the ones who'd been through the fires of competition, and they knew exactly what it took to win. The rookie had great potential, but would that be enough? Or would he always just be another draft pick who couldn't make it? One of those teammates was Michael Jordan. To the rookie, Jordan was a figure of almost mythical proportions. He had been watching Jordan's games since he was a child. Jordan was the reason he had fallen in love with basketball, the reason he pushed so hard in his own career. Now, Jordan was his teammate, and the weight of that reality felt both inspiring and intimidating. At first, Jordan kept his distance from the rookie. He wasn't one to offer advice unless it was earned, unless the rookie showed he was willing to learn. Jordan was known for his drive, his absolute focus on winning, and his fierce competitiveness. If the rookie wanted to make it, he would need to learn what that truly meant. But there was no doubt that Jordan saw something in him. It was just a matter of whether or not the rookie could live up to that potential. The rookie knew that earning Jordan's respect would be no easy feat. His first few practices with Jordan were humbling. He watched Jordan dominate drills, pushing the pace in ways he'd never thought possible. His skill, his speed, and his leadership were palpable. Jordan was every bit the legend he had been told about. The rookie couldn't help but be in awe, but at the same time, he felt the ever-growing sense of pressure mounting. He had to prove himself not just to his team, but to Jordan, whose expectations were always sky-high. In the locker room, Jordan would drop small pieces of advice, almost always unspoken, letting the rookie watch and learn. Jordan didn't coddle anyone, and he didn't believe in hand-holding. If you were on his team, you were expected to perform. He watched the rookie closely, evaluating his every move. The rookie's focus was clear, but it was still early in the season. His confidence had yet to solidify, and that uncertainty showed up in his play. And then there was the media. The questions, the pressure, the constant reminders of how the world was watching his every step, it began to wear on him. The first major interview he attended as a rookie was an eye-opener. The rookie sat nervously in front of a room full of reporters, all eager to dissect his every word. They asked about his transition to the NBA, his thoughts on his performances, and the immense expectations surrounding him. The rookie, unsure of how to answer, gave what he thought were humble responses, trying to say the right things but finding himself stumbling over words. It wasn't long before one reporter, sensing an opportunity to push for a story, asked a pointed question. "You've been struggling to make an impact early in the season. Is there a reason you've been underperforming? Are you living up to the hype, or is the pressure just too much?" The room fell silent. The rookie, already anxious, felt his face flush with embarrassment. He wasn't the first rookie to be scrutinized this way, but it felt like all the weight of the basketball world was on his shoulders in that moment. He stammered out an answer, talking about the adjustments and the learning curve, but the reporter was relentless, not letting him off the hook so easily. "You were the star of your college team," the reporter pressed. "But now you're just another guy on the roster. Do you think you're actually cut out for the NBA?" The question hit hard, and for the first time, the rookie felt like the dream he'd worked so hard to achieve was slipping away. The pressure, the spotlight, and the public doubt all seemed to converge in that instant. He could feel the weight of expectations pressing down on him, threatening to choke out the passion he had once felt for the game. He wasn't just struggling with the transition to the NBA, he was struggling to hold on to the confidence he had worked so hard to build. It was in that moment that Michael Jordan, sitting quietly in the back of the room, decided he could no longer stand by. The rookie, so full of promise yet so fragile under the scrutiny, needed support. Jordan, who had seen the pressure of the media firsthand and had faced his own battles early in his career, knew how much this moment could define the rookie's future. Without hesitation, he stood up and walked toward the microphone. "All right, that's enough," Jordan's voice rang out. "We're done with this." The reporter looked up, caught off guard by Jordan's sudden interruption. Jordan, with all the gravity his name carried, made his way to the front of the room, where the rookie sat, still trying to collect himself. Jordan's eyes locked with the rookie's for a brief moment, offering silent reassurance before turning his gaze back to the reporters. "Let me make something clear," Jordan said, his voice steady, strong, and full of authority. "This young man has just started his journey. You want to question him already? You want to tear him down after a few games? That's not how this works. It's about growth, it's about learning, and it's about giving your best, day in and day out. He's still finding his way, and that's okay." The room fell silent once more, and Jordan's words echoed with a power only someone of his caliber could command. The rookie, still trying to regain his composure, now felt a sense of protection, of strength emanating from Jordan. This wasn't just about basketball. It was about showing respect for the process, for the journey every player had to take, no matter how much talent they had. Jordan paused for a moment, allowing the weight of his words to sink in. "This rookie is going to be just fine," he continued. "You all need to give him the time and respect he deserves. And if you can't do that, then maybe you should rethink why you're sitting in this room." With those final words, Jordan walked out of the press room, leaving the rookie with a sense of pride, and more importantly, a sense of worth. The interview had been cut short, but in a way, it had marked the start of a new chapter for both the rookie and for Jordan, a chapter about leadership, protection, and the realization that the pressure of being great could sometimes be too much to bear alone. Jordan had shown the rookie what true leadership looked like, not from a place of ego, but from a place of respect and responsibility. It wasn't about winning championships, it was about lifting others up, especially when they needed it the most. The rookie's first few months in the NBA were marked by the duality of excitement and uncertainty. He had dreamed of this moment for as long as he could remember, the chance to play alongside the best in the world, to prove that his success wasn't a fluke, and to carve out a place for himself in the history of the league. But the reality of being an NBA player was far more intense than he had ever imagined. The speed of the game, the intensity of the competition, and the unrelenting pressure from the media were just the beginning. When he first walked into the locker room on his first day, he was overwhelmed by the sheer weight of it all. His teammates, veterans with years of experience, some of them all-stars, were intimidating. They weren't unfriendly, but their presence reminded the rookie that they had earned their place in the league through sheer hard work and perseverance. They had stories of their own struggles, their own growth, but to the rookie, they seemed invincible. These were players who had already made their mark, who had already fought for their success. And here he was, just trying to keep up. At first, the rookie was hesitant. He tried to blend in, focus on learning, and follow the lead of his teammates. But it wasn't long before the competitive nature of the NBA started to chip away at his confidence. It wasn't just the physical demands of the game that were wearing him down, it was the mental weight. In college, he had been the star, the one everyone looked to for leadership. Now, he was just another player, trying to find his place in a system that didn't care about his past accolades. The expectations were enormous, and every mistake he made was magnified. On the court, the rookie struggled to adjust to the speed of the game. He fumbled passes, missed open shots, and made poor decisions in crucial moments. It wasn't that he didn't have the talent, it was that he had so much to learn. The defenders were bigger, faster, and smarter than anyone he had ever faced. The rhythm of the NBA was something that couldn't be replicated in college. He had to learn how to think faster, react quicker, and make split-second decisions that could change the course of a game. Off the court, the pressure didn't let up. Media members followed him everywhere, eager for a soundbite, ready to question his every move. They dissected his performance, picking apart his weaknesses and ignoring his strengths. The rookie had always been used to the attention, but now it felt like a burden. In college, he had been celebrated. In the NBA, he was under constant scrutiny. Every day, it felt like the world was watching him fail. But there was something else he hadn't fully prepared for, the expectations of his teammates. They were used to winning, to competing at the highest level. They weren't interested in a rookie who couldn't keep up. They wanted results, now. The veteran players were patient with him, but only to a point. They saw his potential, but they also saw his mistakes. They didn't have time to nurture him like a project, they needed him to contribute immediately. As the season wore on, the rookie's frustration grew. His confidence was taking a hit, and every practice felt like an uphill battle. He worked tirelessly, trying to improve his game, but the more he tried, the more mistakes he seemed to make. The mental toll was becoming unbearable. He found himself waking up early to watch film, spending extra hours in the gym, trying to perfect his shot, his footwork, his defensive positioning. But no matter how much effort he put in, it never seemed to be enough. In the locker room, the veteran players started giving him advice, not always gentle, but direct. They told him to stop trying to be perfect, to stop putting so much pressure on himself. They reminded him that they all went through the same struggles, that it was part of the process. But the rookie wasn't ready to hear it. He wasn't used to failing. In college, he had been the star, the one everyone relied on. Now, he was just another player on a team full of veterans. The pressure to live up to the hype was consuming him. Then came the moment that would change everything. It was a regular game, one of many in the grind of the season. The rookie had been playing well, contributing in small but important ways. But in the final minutes of the game, when the score was tight and every possession mattered, he made a mistake. He missed a crucial free throw that could have given the team the lead. The cameras caught his frustration as he walked back to the bench, and the boos from the crowd were deafening. It wasn't just a mistake, it felt like the rookie had failed in front of the entire world. As he sat on the bench, his head hanging low, he heard a voice. It was Michael Jordan. Jordan had been sitting at the far end of the bench, watching the game unfold. The rookie had been so consumed by his failure that he hadn't noticed Jordan's approach. "You're better than that," Jordan said quietly, his voice firm but not angry. "This game doesn't define you. You've got more to give, and you'll get another chance." The rookie looked up, surprised. Jordan was known for his competitive fire, his intensity, but he wasn't one to offer empty words. This wasn't a pep talk, it was a reminder. Jordan knew what it was like to fall short, to miss opportunities, to have the weight of the world on your shoulders. But he also knew that it wasn't about one mistake. It was about how you responded. Jordan's words stuck with the rookie as the game ended. His team had lost, but the rookie felt something shift within him. It wasn't about one missed shot or a failed attempt. It was about the next opportunity, the next chance to prove himself. He had the tools, he just needed to learn how to use them. In the days that followed, Jordan continued to offer support. He didn't hold the rookie's hand or coddle him, but he made it clear that failure was part of the process. The rookie began to understand that it wasn't about avoiding mistakes, it was about how you learned from them. Jordan's quiet mentorship gave him the space to grow, to embrace the challenges ahead rather than shy away from them. The rookie was starting to see the bigger picture. The struggles were not roadblocks, they were stepping stones. His journey was long, and the road to success was filled with failures, but it wasn't the failures that defined him. It was how he responded to them. And with each mistake, he grew stronger. This wasn't the NBA the rookie had imagined. It wasn't all glitz and glamour. But it was real. And it was where he needed to be to prove not just to the world, but to himself, that he belonged. The rookie began to realize that the mistakes weren't the end, they were the beginning of his journey. And as long as he kept working, kept learning, kept fighting, he knew that his time would come. Jordan had given him a glimpse of that future, a future where the rookie didn't just survive in the NBA, but thrived. And for the first time since stepping onto the court as a rookie, the young player began to believe in that future. It had been another long stretch of games for the team. Practices had been grueling, the pressure from the fans and the media constant. For the rookie, it was a blur of routines, conditioning, and moments of frustration. While his teammates had adjusted to the intensity, he still found himself feeling the weight of every missed shot, every mistake that was magnified by the spotlight. But this was the NBA, nothing came easy, and success didn't just appear. The rookie had learned that lesson the hard way. The day of the press conference, the rookie walked into the arena with his teammates, his mind focused on the game that night. He wasn't particularly looking forward to the media sessions, but he knew it was part of the deal. As a young player, he still hadn't mastered the art of handling the questions that often felt like jabs, even when they weren't intended that way. But today, there was something different in the air. It wasn't just any ordinary press day. The team had been facing tough criticism, and tensions were high. As the team entered the press room, the usual sea of cameras and microphones greeted them. The rookie sat down, his hands gripping the edges of his chair, nervous as always. He had gotten used to the stares, the bright lights, and the flashes from cameras. But there was something about the energy in the room today that made him uneasy. His teammates were handling the questions as they always did, with the ease that came from experience. But for the rookie, each question felt like a small test, one he was trying his best to pass. The media members began firing off questions, many of them aimed at the team's struggles. But then, out of nowhere, one reporter turned the focus to the rookie. The question felt sharp, pointed. "You've been struggling to find your rhythm in these past few games," the reporter began. "You've had some bad performances. Is the pressure of playing in the NBA getting to you? Do you regret making the jump from college?" The rookie's heart skipped a beat. The reporter's tone wasn't just about the numbers or the game, it was personal. There was a hint of mockery in his voice, an unspoken challenge, and the rookie could feel the eyes of the room shift toward him. He opened his mouth to respond but found his words tangled, his confidence slipping away. The question wasn't just about basketball. It was about his entire worth, about whether he deserved to be on the same stage as the players he had admired from afar. The rookie stammered, offering a vague answer about adjusting to the league, about finding his footing. But the words didn't come out as smoothly as he wanted. The pressure of the room, the weight of the scrutiny, was suffocating. The reporter wasn't done. Sensing vulnerability, he pressed on. "Look, we're all watching you. You're being compared to the best right now. How do you feel knowing that people expect you to perform at an elite level? Are you up for it, or are you cracking under the pressure?" The rookie's face flushed with embarrassment. The laughter from the media members around the room wasn't loud, but it was there, quietly echoing in his ears. It was the sound of the rookie's failure, the feeling of being exposed, of not measuring up to the expectations he had placed on himself. The rookie clenched his fists beneath the table, fighting back the frustration. He knew the media was tough, but this felt different. It felt personal. Just as the rookie struggled to find his footing, a voice cut through the tension. Michael Jordan, who had been sitting quietly at the back of the room, stood up and walked toward the front. His presence commanded attention, and the room grew still. The rookie looked up, surprised and relieved. Jordan's eyes locked with his, and in that moment, the rookie felt a shift, like the weight of the world had been lifted, even if just for a second. Jordan walked up to the microphone and stood next to the rookie, looking directly at the reporter. He didn't need to say much, but his words had the power to command a room, to shift the energy in a way only Jordan could. "Enough," Jordan said, his voice steady but firm. "This young man has more heart than anyone in this room. You want to question him? Fine. But you won't do it like this." The reporter, taken aback by the sudden interruption, tried to respond, but Jordan wasn't having it. "Let me tell you something," Jordan continued, his tone not aggressive, but full of authority. "I've been where he is. I've been the rookie who faced all the same questions, all the same doubts. I've had my struggles, too. We all do. But no one in this room is going to tear him down." The room was silent. The rookie looked at Jordan, a sense of awe filling him. Jordan's words weren't just about defending him, they were about protecting something bigger. It was about understanding that failure wasn't the end, and that no one could define a player's worth based on one mistake or a series of setbacks. Jordan continued, his eyes never leaving the reporter. "This is a team game, and right now, you're asking the wrong questions. The question isn't whether he can handle the pressure. The question is whether you can handle watching him rise to the occasion. Because that's what he's going to do. And when he does, I want to make sure you're ready to give him the respect he deserves." The reporter, now visibly flustered, could only nod. He tried to reassert himself, but it was clear the room was no longer on his side. The veteran players in the back were watching with quiet approval, and even the media members who had initially been skeptical were now reflecting on the reality of what had just happened. Jordan had stepped in, not just as a superstar but as a mentor, as a protector of the next generation. The rookie, still processing the moment, couldn't believe what had just transpired. Jordan had always been his idol, the player he had watched on television, the player he had modeled his game after. But now, seeing him stand up for him in front of the entire media room, the rookie realized there was more to Jordan's greatness than just basketball. It was about leadership, about standing up for what's right, and about showing the younger players how to handle the pressures that came with being in the NBA. As the press conference continued, the rookie felt a sense of empowerment. The weight he had carried for so long was now shared by someone who had been through it all. Jordan had given him the strength to face the challenges ahead, not just on the court, but in every aspect of his career. He wasn't alone in this journey. Jordan had reminded him of that. Later that evening, after the press conference had ended and the rookie was back in the locker room, he took a moment to reflect. He wasn't the same player who had walked into the room earlier that day. He wasn't perfect, and he knew there would be many more struggles ahead, but he also knew that he had something many players didn't, a mentor who believed in him, a teammate who had his back. As the rookie prepared for the next game, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. Jordan's defense had given him a newfound confidence, one that wasn't about ignoring the pressure but about accepting it and rising above it. He was no longer just trying to survive in the NBA. He was ready to thrive. And when the next challenge came, he would face it head-on, knowing that he had the support of his team, and that no one, not even the harshest critics, could define his journey. The rookie was still processing everything that had happened during the press conference. When Michael Jordan had stepped in and cut off the reporter, it had felt like a turning point in his career, a shift in his mindset. The questions and the pressure that had been suffocating him no longer felt like something he had to carry on his own. Jordan, a legend in the game, had backed him up, not just as a mentor, but as a defender of dignity and respect. For the first time in weeks, the rookie felt a sense of confidence that had been missing from his game. The next day, he walked into the gym for practice with a renewed sense of focus. He was no longer the overwhelmed young player trying to find his footing in a world of stars. He had a purpose now, one that wasn't just about surviving the season but about rising to the challenge and proving that he belonged. The voice of doubt, the constant second-guessing, had quieted, replaced by the understanding that every player, no matter how great, had been in his shoes at some point. Even Michael Jordan had faced adversity early in his career. The morning practice session was a test. The rookie could feel the eyes of his teammates on him as he ran through drills. He could sense that they were waiting to see if he would bounce back from the public scrutiny or let it define him. They had all seen young players come and go, some with the talent to make it but without the mental toughness to survive. This was the rookie's chance to show that he was different, that he was ready to rise. As practice went on, the rookie found himself more focused than ever before. His shot, once erratic, had a newfound smoothness. His dribbles, once hesitant, were sharp and confident. His teammates noticed. They started to pass him the ball more, watching him sink shots, make clean passes, and play with a new sense of poise. Even the veterans, who had kept their distance at first, began offering quiet nods of approval. The rookie was beginning to understand what it took to not just survive in the NBA, but to thrive. By the end of practice, Jordan approached him. He didn't offer praise, but he didn't need to. The rookie could see the approval in Jordan's eyes, and the way he stood beside him without saying a word. It was clear that Jordan wasn't expecting perfection from him, he was expecting growth. That's what Jordan had seen in the rookie from the beginning, potential. It wasn't about today's game or next week's performance. It was about the long-term vision, the belief that, with time and effort, the rookie could become a crucial part of the team. The rookie, now feeling the weight of the moment, took Jordan's words to heart. That afternoon, he reviewed footage of his previous games. He wasn't just looking at the mistakes, he was looking at the moments where he had done well. He saw flashes of brilliance in his performances, moments where his skills had meshed perfectly with the game. These were the things he needed to focus on, the areas where he could excel. The next step wasn't about overcoming the pressure. It was about using that pressure to fuel his performance. As the days passed, the rookie became more attuned to the rhythm of the NBA. He began to feel less like an outsider and more like a player who belonged. He took advice from his teammates, absorbed the lessons that Jordan had imparted, and started to trust himself. He no longer feared the media or the judgment of others. His focus was now on the game, on how to help the team win, and on proving that he could handle the challenges thrown his way. But as the season wore on, the rookie realized that his journey wasn't just about making good plays on the court. It was about handling the pressures of being an NBA player, the scrutiny, the expectations, and the constant need to perform. He had learned that every player, even those who had been in the league for years, faced the same pressures. It was a constant battle, not against the opponents on the court, but against the distractions off it. The rookie was starting to realize that to truly succeed, he needed to become mentally strong, to embrace the grind, and to never lose sight of his own potential. The team began to win more games as the rookie's confidence grew. His contributions, though still modest compared to the superstars, were becoming more consistent. He wasn't just making plays, he was becoming a part of the team's chemistry. He had learned to read the game, to understand his teammates' movements, and to anticipate the defense. His role on the court was no longer that of a bystander, he was starting to become a key player in the offense and defense alike. The media, too, began to notice. The same reporters who had criticized him during his early struggles now spoke about his growth. They saw the rookie as a player who was finally starting to come into his own. The once harsh scrutiny began to fade as the rookie showed his ability to handle the pressure and the ups and downs of being an NBA player. Yet, despite all the progress, the rookie knew that his journey was far from over. The true test was still ahead. He had learned to block out the noise, to trust his teammates, and to focus on improving every day. But there would always be new challenges, new critics, and new expectations to meet. The rookie had to be prepared for the long haul, and he knew that he could rely on the lessons he had learned from the best, lessons from Jordan and from his own struggles. It wasn't just about basketball anymore. It was about life. The rookie had learned that success in the NBA, as in anything else, wasn't determined by how you started, but by how you responded to the obstacles in your way. He wasn't the same player who had walked into the press conference months ago, unsure of himself and overwhelmed by the weight of expectation. He was stronger, more confident, and more focused on the work that lay ahead. As the rookie continued to grow, so did the team. They were winning, and the bond between the players had strengthened. The veterans were beginning to trust him more, to rely on him when the game was on the line. The rookie, now starting to understand the nuances of the NBA, was becoming a more integral part of the squad. And Jordan, still the leader of the team, was watching his progress, knowing that the true test of a player's greatness was not in the moments of victory, but in the journey they took to get there. That night, as the team celebrated a hard-fought victory, the rookie found himself reflecting on how far he had come. He wasn't there yet, but he had learned one of the most important lessons of all: the road to greatness wasn't a straight line. It was a winding, challenging path that required resilience, growth, and the courage to face adversity head-on. The rookie had proven that he was ready for that path, and with each game, each practice, and each lesson learned, he was becoming the player he had always hoped to be. Jordan's words had given him the confidence to keep moving forward. And now, the rookie was ready for the next challenge, knowing that the only way to truly succeed in the NBA was to keep pushing, no matter how tough it got. It had been months since the rookie's first encounter with the media. That moment, when Michael Jordan had stepped in to protect him during the press conference, had been a catalyst. The rookie was no longer the same young player who had been overwhelmed by the weight of expectations. He had found his confidence, and with that newfound assurance, he started to embrace the challenges that came with being in the NBA. The rookie's growth on the court was gradual but noticeable. His game, once marked by hesitation and self-doubt, had started to flow with more ease. He wasn't yet a star, he wasn't even the team's third option, but he was carving out a solid role for himself. His defense had improved, and he was becoming more consistent with his shot. His coaches and teammates had started to take notice. They could see the work he had put in, the extra hours in the gym, the dedication to improving. The rookie was no longer a liability, he was starting to be a contributor. But the real test for the rookie came when the team hit a rough patch. A series of losses, coupled with increased media scrutiny, put the team under a microscope. Fans and critics alike began to question the team's chemistry, and the spotlight turned back to the young player who had been struggling earlier in the season. One particularly rough game against the top contender highlighted everything that was wrong. The rookie had been expected to step up, but he had missed crucial shots in the final minutes. The pressure of the moment seemed to overwhelm him once again. As the final buzzer sounded and the team walked off the court in defeat, the rookie couldn't escape the whispers. In the locker room, the air was thick with tension. The veteran players, who had grown used to winning, were clearly frustrated. They exchanged quiet words about the game, their expressions serious. The rookie, though he had played a decent game, could feel the weight of his teammates' disappointment. He was still adjusting to the expectations of the NBA, and moments like this felt like setbacks. After a few minutes, Jordan walked into the locker room. As always, his presence commanded attention. He didn't say much at first, but the room fell silent as he approached the team. The rookie, sitting in his corner, didn't know what to expect. He was still processing the loss, still battling the frustration of not living up to his potential in front of the biggest audience he'd ever had. Jordan didn't address the entire team right away. He walked over to the rookie and sat down beside him. The rookie's head was down, his hands wrapped around his water bottle, avoiding Jordan's gaze. "You played hard," Jordan said, his voice calm but direct. "It's not always going to go your way. That's how it works here. But you can't let it define you. You've got to move on." The rookie nodded, but the weight of the game still lingered. He had let his team down, and he knew it. Jordan, sensing his frustration, continued. "You think I've never missed shots or lost games? You think I didn't face the same pressure when I was in your shoes? You're not going to win every time. But you've got to use it, use that frustration to drive you. Don't let it hold you back." The rookie looked up at Jordan. The confidence in Jordan's words wasn't just about the game, it was about the mindset, the resilience. Jordan had always been known for his mental toughness, his ability to push through adversity and emerge stronger. That was the lesson the rookie needed to learn. It wasn't about being perfect, it was about how you bounced back from failure. As the days passed, the rookie began to internalize Jordan's advice. He spent more time working on his game, not just focusing on what went wrong in the previous game, but finding ways to improve every aspect of his play. He wasn't just working harder, he was working smarter. He started watching more film, paying attention to his decision-making in clutch situations. He spent hours in the gym, practicing his free throws, his three-point shot, and his footwork. But more importantly, he worked on his mental game. He began to realize that every missed shot, every failed attempt, was part of the journey. What mattered was how he responded. Meanwhile, the team's struggles continued. The losses started to pile up, and the pressure mounted. There were whispers about trades, about changes to the roster. The media picked up on the team's struggles, and once again, the rookie found himself in the crossfire. The criticism was sharper now, with pundits questioning whether the team had made a mistake in drafting him. It was clear that the rookie had not yet proven himself to be the player everyone had hoped for. But this time, the rookie didn't let the noise get to him. He focused on the work, on the things he could control. He kept his head down, practiced harder than ever, and stayed mentally strong. He leaned on Jordan's words, reminding himself that success in the NBA wasn't just about raw talent. It was about toughness, both physical and mental. The turning point came in a pivotal game against one of the top teams in the league. It was a must-win game for the team, and the rookie was called upon to step up. The stakes were high, and the pressure was intense. The game went back and forth, with the lead changing hands several times. In the final minutes, the rookie found himself with the ball in his hands, facing a crucial decision. The clock was ticking down, and the crowd was on edge. This time, the rookie didn't hesitate. He made the right play. With the defense closing in, he passed the ball to a wide-open teammate for a three-pointer. The shot went in, giving the team the lead. In the closing seconds, the rookie made a key defensive stop, helping to secure the win. As the buzzer sounded, the rookie stood with his arms raised in victory, a sense of pride filling him. He had done it. He had stepped up when it mattered most. The locker room after the game was electric. The veteran players clapped him on the back, congratulating him for his poise under pressure. Jordan, who had been watching from the sidelines, nodded approvingly. It wasn't just the rookie's game-winning pass or his defense that impressed him, it was the way he had handled the moment, the way he had blocked out the noise and trusted in his abilities. Jordan knew that this was the rookie's breakthrough. In the post-game press conference, the rookie sat with a new sense of confidence. The questions, once filled with skepticism and doubt, now carried a different tone. The media acknowledged his performance, and the narrative began to shift. The rookie had earned their respect, but more importantly, he had earned his own. He had faced the pressure, the criticism, and the expectations, and he had come through stronger for it. The rookie wasn't the same player who had walked into the press conference months ago, stammering and unsure of himself. He was a player who had proven that he could rise above adversity, a player who had learned the value of resilience and mental toughness. The road ahead was still long, but he knew now that he was on the right path. As he left the arena that night, walking through the halls with his teammates, the rookie couldn't help but reflect on how far he had come. The journey was far from over, but he was no longer the hesitant player who had struggled to find his place in the NBA. He was someone who knew how to face challenges head-on, who understood that greatness didn't come from avoiding failure, it came from learning how to rise after every fall. The rookie had become a player to watch, and this was just the beginning. The rookie's recent success was a much-needed breakthrough, but it didn't signal the end of the challenges he would face. The media's praise was fleeting, and the demands of the season only increased as the team faced stiffer competition. With each win came the pressure to perform again, and with each loss, the questions grew louder. The rookie had started to feel the weight of the spotlight once more, but this time, it was different. He wasn't afraid of the media or the public scrutiny, he was ready to handle it. It was a late-season game against a rival team, one that was stacked with established stars and a history of dominance. The game had all the makings of a showdown, two competitive teams with playoff aspirations, each determined to prove they were worthy of a championship run. For the rookie, this game felt like a culmination of everything he had been working toward. He wasn't just trying to prove himself to the media or to his teammates, he was trying to prove to himself that he could handle the big moments. The game started off slow, with both teams exchanging shots, trading leads in a tense, back-and-forth battle. The rookie was in the starting lineup, his role on the team more defined than it had been earlier in the season. He wasn't yet a star, but he had earned his place. He had become a reliable contributor, someone the team could count on in moments of need. Yet, the weight of the game hung over him. He had learned not to let pressure define his performance, but this game felt different. He could feel the anticipation in the arena, the crowd on edge, waiting for something to happen. It didn't take long for the rookie to find his first opportunity. In the second quarter, after a missed shot by his teammate, the rookie saw an opening in the defense. Without thinking, he drove to the basket, drawing a foul from the opposing team's best defender. The rookie sank both free throws, putting his team ahead by 2. It wasn't a game-winning play, but it was a statement. He was ready. As the game wore on, the tension grew. The rookie had moments of brilliance, key assists, timely rebounds, and smooth drives to the basket. But in the final minutes of the game, with the score tied, the rookie found himself in a position he hadn't yet faced. The ball was in his hands with the game on the line. The clock was ticking down, the crowd roaring with anticipation. His teammates were spread out, giving him room to operate. The defense closed in, but the rookie's mind was focused. This was the moment he had worked so hard for, the moment he had prepared for in every practice, every drill, every game. It was time to deliver. He looked up at the clock, his heart pounding in his chest. The opposing defense was suffocating, but he saw a glimpse of an opening. Without hesitation, he dribbled hard to his right, using his speed to get past his defender. He reached the paint, eyes scanning for an open teammate. But just as quickly as the opening appeared, it vanished. The rookie's path to the basket was cut off by another defender. He had nowhere to go but up. He took the shot, a mid-range jumper that he had practiced countless times. As the ball left his fingertips, everything seemed to slow down. The crowd fell silent, and for a split second, the rookie thought he could hear his own heartbeat. The ball arced through the air, heading toward the basket. And then, it bounced off the rim. The roar of the crowd erupted as the opposing team secured the rebound. Time seemed to stretch as the rookie watched the final moments of the game slip away. He had missed. The chance was gone. The ball had been in his hands, and he had failed to deliver. His teammates tried to console him, but he could feel the sting of the loss. This wasn't just a missed shot, it was a moment of opportunity that had slipped through his fingers. In the locker room after the game, the rookie sat quietly in front of his locker, his jersey drenched in sweat. His head hung low, the weight of the loss pressing on him. It wasn't the first time he had missed a crucial shot, but this one felt different. It felt like he had let his team down. His teammates tried to encourage him, telling him that the game wasn't just about one shot. They reminded him that it was a team effort and that there were other opportunities to win. But the rookie couldn't shake the feeling of failure. Jordan, who had been in the locker room giving his usual post-game speech, noticed the rookie's frustration. The veteran players had already begun to change out of their uniforms, and the energy in the room was one of disappointment, but also acceptance. They had lost, and that was part of the game. But Jordan knew that the rookie needed more than just words of encouragement. He walked over to the rookie, who was sitting alone, still lost in his thoughts. Jordan didn't speak at first. He simply sat down next to him, his presence a steady force. The rookie didn't look up, but he knew Jordan was there. Finally, Jordan broke the silence. "You missed a shot." "Big deal," Jordan said, his voice calm. "You're going to miss a lot of shots in this league. But that doesn't mean you're not ready. That doesn't mean you don't belong here." The rookie's head snapped up, meeting Jordan's eyes. Jordan's expression was serious, but there was a flicker of understanding in his gaze. "You can't let one miss define you. You're going to have plenty of chances. And when those chances come, you take them. Don't think about what went wrong. Think about what you'll do next time." The rookie nodded, though the frustration was still evident in his eyes. He wanted to be better. He wanted to prove to his team, to the fans, and to himself that he could deliver in the clutch. But in that moment, Jordan's words began to sink in. It wasn't about one moment, it was about the long road ahead. Everyone's going to talk about that miss, Jordan continued. But here's the truth, no one remembers the shots you miss. They remember the ones you make. So next time, when the game's on the line, you step up. You don't hesitate. And you take that shot with everything you've got. The rookie sat there for a moment, absorbing the weight of Jordan's words. It wasn't about being perfect, it was about growing stronger, learning from failure, and continuing to fight. That was the true essence of what it meant to be in the NBA. As the locker room began to empty, the rookie stood up and grabbed his bag. Jordan's words had given him something to hold on to, a sense of resilience, a belief that the next moment, the next game, would be his chance to prove that he belonged. He wasn't going to let this one shot define him. He was going to take Jordan's advice and move forward. There would be more opportunities, and he would be ready when they came. The rookie left the locker room that night with a new sense of determination. He had missed the shot. But next time, he would make it. And when he did, he would know that the road to greatness wasn't about avoiding failure, it was about how you responded to it. And this was just one step on the path. The journey had only just begun. The NBA season was entering its final stretch, and the rookie's growth was becoming more evident with each game. He wasn't just a part of the team anymore, he was a key player, someone the coaching staff relied on in critical moments. But while his play had improved, the pressure of the spotlight never truly faded. Each game felt like a new test, a new challenge, and the rookie knew that if he faltered, the media, his teammates, and the fans would be quick to judge. One evening, after a tough win against a playoff contender, the rookie found himself sitting in the locker room, catching his breath. The victory was hard-fought, and though he had contributed, he couldn't shake the feeling that his performance hadn't been good enough. He had missed a few open shots and made a couple of careless turnovers in the second half. Despite the team's success, he felt like there was always something more he could give. As the locker room filled with noise, players talking, laughing, and getting ready for the post-game rituals, the rookie found himself alone with his thoughts. He had been steadily improving, yes, but it still wasn't enough. The game he wanted to play in the NBA was one where he could contribute consistently, where his performance wouldn't just be solid but game-changing. Jordan walked past the rookie's locker, pausing when he saw the younger player sitting in silence. He had noticed the rookie's growing frustrations over the past few weeks, anxiety over his shortcomings, a self-imposed pressure to always do more. Jordan, ever the leader, knew what it was like to be in the rookie's shoes. He also knew how dangerous it could be to let those thoughts fester, to let the weight of self-doubt overshadow the progress a player had made. "You okay?" Jordan asked, sitting down next to him without waiting for a response. He wasn't expecting a detailed answer, but it was clear to him that the rookie was carrying something on his shoulders. The rookie shrugged, looking at the floor. "I just feel like I'm still not where I need to be. We won the game, but I keep making the same mistakes." Jordan studied the rookie for a moment, sensing that this conversation was about more than just the game they had played. It was about the bigger picture, the fear of failure, the uncertainty about whether he could ever truly reach the level he aspired to. "It's okay to make mistakes," Jordan said quietly, his voice soft but firm. "I made mistakes when I was your age, too. Everyone does. But the key isn't avoiding mistakes. It's about how you deal with them when they happen. Every great player goes through this phase, the point where they start doubting themselves because they're not perfect." The rookie nodded slowly, but the frustration remained in his eyes. "It's just hard. I want to do more for the team. I don't want to be the guy who holds us back." Jordan smiled, a knowing expression on his face. He could see himself in the rookie's words. He had once been that hungry, that driven to prove himself, that willing to put everything on the line to be great. And yet, he had learned that greatness didn't come from perfection, it came from understanding your flaws and learning how to overcome them, day by day. "You're not holding anyone back," Jordan said, leaning in slightly. "You're growing. Don't get too caught up in the mistakes. Keep looking forward." Every time you step on that court, you're getting better, even if you can't see it right now. There's a lot more to being a great player than just scoring points or making flashy plays. It's about consistency, it's about defense, and it's about leadership. Your time will come. Just keep doing what you're doing, working hard, staying focused, and learning from the losses. The rookie looked up, meeting Jordan's gaze. There was something in Jordan's words that clicked. It wasn't just advice, it was a reminder that he wasn't alone. He had a team, a veteran mentor who believed in him, and the tools to improve. He wasn't expected to be perfect overnight. His journey was long, but it was his to navigate. "Thanks," the rookie said quietly. "I'm just trying to keep it together." Jordan nodded. "You will. Just keep playing your game. The more you play, the more you'll understand what it takes to be consistent. You're not going to figure it all out in one season, but that's okay. It's the process that makes you who you are." In the days that followed, the rookie carried Jordan's words with him. He continued to work on his game, focusing on areas where he knew he could improve. But more importantly, he began to embrace the process. Instead of fixating on the mistakes, he started to focus on the steps he needed to take to improve. Each day was a new opportunity to learn, to grow, and to prove that he belonged. And his efforts began to show. In the next few games, he played with a newfound confidence. His shots began to fall with more consistency, and his defense became more disciplined. He no longer hesitated when the ball was in his hands, he trusted himself. His teammates noticed the change. The rookie was no longer just another player trying to fit in, he was a part of the team, and they could rely on him. The team's record began to improve as well, and the rookie's performances played a crucial role in their success. He wasn't the leading scorer, but he was making key plays, hitting crucial shots, and contributing in ways that didn't always show up in the box score. His defense had become a standout part of his game, and his ability to control the pace in tight moments was something the team had come to value. But the true test came when the playoffs arrived. The rookie had never played in a playoff game before, and the intensity of the postseason was something he could only prepare for by imagining it. The stakes were higher, the pressure greater, and every move was scrutinized by the world. In the first game of the playoffs, the team found themselves facing a tough opponent, one with veteran players who knew how to handle the pressure. The rookie started, as usual, but he could feel the tension in the air. The crowd, the cameras, the atmosphere, it was all different. Every possession felt heavier, every decision more critical. The rookie tried to block out the noise, but it was difficult. The weight of the moment was real. The game was tight, and as the final seconds ticked away, the rookie found himself in the same position he had been in earlier that season. The ball was in his hands, and the game was on the line. This time, there was no hesitation. The rookie had learned to trust himself, and with the game tied, he drove to the basket with everything he had. The defender closed in on him, but the rookie powered through, drawing the foul as he made a difficult layup. The crowd erupted as the rookie sank the free throw to seal the game. The team won, and the rookie's game-winning play was the talk of the night. But more than that, it was the culmination of everything he had learned. The mistakes, the doubts, the pressure, all of it had led to this moment. He had earned his place on the court, and he had proved that he was capable of rising to the occasion when it mattered most. As the team celebrated in the locker room, the rookie caught Jordan's eye. The veteran gave him a subtle nod of approval, a silent acknowledgement of the progress the rookie had made. The rookie smiled to himself. This was just the beginning, but for the first time, he truly believed that he could handle whatever came next. The playoff run was far from over, and there were still many challenges ahead. But the rookie had learned one of the most important lessons of all: greatness wasn't defined by the moments when things went perfectly. It was defined by how you responded when things didn't go your way, and how you rose above the pressure when it mattered most. The journey had only just begun, but the rookie was ready for whatever came next. He had earned his place, and he wasn't going to let anyone take it away. The team had his back, and he had theirs. Together, they would face the storm ahead. The rookie's journey had come full circle. From the anxious young player who struggled to find his place on the court, unsure of how to handle the weight of the NBA, to the confident, poised individual who had proven time and again that he belonged. The playoffs had tested him in ways he couldn't have imagined, but now, with his team on the verge of the championship, he stood at the precipice of everything he had worked for. His name was now one that people recognized, but it wasn't just because of his performance, it was because of his resilience, his ability to rise above adversity, and the quiet leadership he had demonstrated throughout the season. The team had made it to Game 7 of the finals. The series had been brutal, each game leaving players exhausted, physically, mentally, and emotionally. The opposing team was stacked with talent, but the rookie and his teammates had fought every step of the way. It wasn't just about the big plays or the flashy moments. This series had been a testament to the team's unity, their ability to pick each other up when one player faltered. And through it all, the rookie had learned the true meaning of being part of a team. The night of Game 7, the atmosphere in the arena was electric. The crowd's energy was palpable, a sea of fans all eagerly waiting for the final showdown. The rookie felt the weight of the moment on his shoulders, but he didn't flinch. He had come this far, and he knew what he had to do. The lessons from Jordan and the entire team had shaped him into a player who now understood that success wasn't about individual glory, it was about the collective strength of the team. As the game began, the rookie was sharp. He didn't let the pressure rattle him. His defense was solid, and on offense, he was making smart passes, creating plays for his teammates. He wasn't trying to be the hero, he was playing the game the way he had learned, efficient, focused, and committed to the team's success. But with every quarter, the game grew tighter. The opposing team, with all their star power, wasn't going to go down without a fight. The rookie could feel the intensity rising with each possession. It wasn't just the fans cheering, it was the weight of years of work, of everything that had led him to this moment. By the final minutes of the game, the score was neck and neck. The tension was unbearable. The rookie had already made several key plays, but now, it was down to the final seconds. The ball was in his hands. The crowd was holding its breath as he dribbled to the top of the key, his eyes scanning the court, searching for an opening. The defense collapsed on him, but he wasn't intimidated. He had faced this moment before, the pressure, the scrutiny, but this time, it felt different. He wasn't a rookie anymore. He wasn't that hesitant player who had struggled to find his place. He was a part of this team, and he was going to do whatever it took to secure the win. He looked to his right, his teammate, wide open. The rookie made the pass, a perfect bullet across the court. The ball hit his teammate's hands, and without hesitation, the shot went up, a clean three-pointer. Time seemed to slow down as the ball arced toward the basket. The entire arena watched, holding their collective breath. Swish! The crowd erupted. The rookie's teammate had nailed the game-winning shot. The team was on the verge of their first championship in years, and it had come down to a play where the rookie had stepped up, not as the hero, but as a leader, a contributor, someone who knew the value of making the right play. The tension melted away in an explosion of sound, the realization settling in that they had done it. They were champions. The rookie's teammates rushed toward him, lifting him off the ground in celebration. Jordan, who had been with him through every step of this journey, gave him a firm pat on the back. Jordan's pride was evident in his smile. The rookie had made the right play when it mattered most, and he had earned his place among the greats. As the team celebrated, the rookie couldn't help but reflect on everything that had led to this moment. The missed shots, the struggles, the moments of doubt, he had faced them all and come out stronger. This was the culmination of everything he had worked for, but it wasn't just the victory that mattered. It was how he had grown, how he had learned to handle pressure, to trust his teammates, and to step up when it counted. Later that night, as the team gathered in the locker room to receive their championship trophies, the rookie stood off to the side, his gaze fixed on the trophy in Jordan's hands. He had watched Jordan lift trophies before, seen the emotion on his face, and understood the significance of each win. Now, it was his turn. As his name was called, the rookie walked forward, his chest swelling with pride. He had earned his place in NBA history, and this trophy was the symbol of all the hard work, the sacrifices, and the growth that had come with his journey. As he held the championship trophy, surrounded by his teammates, the rookie looked toward Jordan. The veteran, who had taken him under his wing and shown him what it truly meant to be a champion, smiled at him. Jordan had been right all along. The path to greatness wasn't defined by one play or one mistake. It was about the long road, the perseverance, and the ability to rise above it all. The rookie didn't just have a championship trophy in his hands. He had earned the respect of his teammates, of the fans, and of the NBA. He had done it. He had proven that he belonged. But more importantly, he had learned that greatness wasn't about individual accolades. It was about the collective strength of a team, about working together to achieve something bigger than any one player could accomplish alone. As the celebration continued, the rookie took a moment to reflect on how far he had come. From the hesitant player who struggled to find his place to the key contributor in an NBA Finals victory, his journey had been filled with challenges and moments of doubt. But now, with the championship in hand, he knew that this was only the beginning. His career wasn't defined by one victory, it was defined by the countless steps he had taken to get here. And as he stood there, among his teammates, with the trophy raised high, the rookie finally understood what it meant to be a champion. It wasn't just about winning, it was about the journey, the people you shared it with, and the lessons you learned along the way. This was his moment. And it was only the beginning of the legacy he was about to build.